Hi, my name is Sarah and I'm one of the coaches here at Dumpling, and I am also joined with Ashley. So hey, Ashley.
Hey.
And today we're going to go over all things kind of Canva. We want to, answer questions that people may have and kind of just walk you through the ins and outs of where to get started, how to get started, and everything in between. So let's dive in. First, we want to start with kind of what is Canva and how to best utilize this. So Canva will allow you guys to create graphics, business marketing materials, invitations if you really want to, and pretty much anything in between. They do have multiple versions, which we can kind of talk a little bit about. So Ashley, let's touch on kind of the pro versus the free and what the differences kind of can be there.
Yeah, so their pro version is 119 a year and has a bunch of additional features, similar to what you would get on many platforms where their free version has quite a bit. Their pro version has even more. For those starting out, you can actually get quite a bit done with that free version. And it allows you to really play with it and get used to it. And then if you're using it all the time, that's where it really makes sense to look at upgrading to Pro. So some of the different features that they have on Pro are being able to work with a team. So if you have several employees in your business or you've hired an admin assistant, that's something that could be beneficial for you. It also has brand kits. So this is where you have specific logos, colors, fonts that you like to use consistently. It can kind of keep those in there for you. It also has more images and templates that are available to use for free. Their free version has quite a few. Their pro version has a whole nother chunk. And then there are still some that you would have to pay the artist for. They also have a tool that is about social media posting. So what it will do is you'll create your posts and put them on a schedule, and it will actually post them to Instagram for you, which is really cool. A lot of people are already paying another tool to do that for them. So in that sense, it could be worth having the pro membership and canceling that second tool that you have. The one weird caveat with that one is you need to have a Facebook business page, not just an Instagram page, and have them connected, and then it will work for you. They also have some more options like video editing, background removal, some higher level features like that on the Pro. There's several more I didn't mention, just trying to mention the ones that are probably relevant for people running a delivery business. But yeah, and then what we'll kind of show you guys today primarily is stuff that you can get on the free version, and kind of go from there.
Perfect. Yes. So we will, like Ashley said, we're going to focus mainly on that free version since that's what the majority will use. However, some people may find the pro to be beneficial. And if so, that's great. Go ahead and give it a try. They do tend to offer like a free 30 days if you haven't already tried the pro before. So you can always get that, 1 month for free, see if it's something that you may like, and then kind of go from there. And then so just in general, when using Canva, we do highly recommend that you use it on a computer or a laptop if possible. It can be a whole lot easier for you guys to create your graphics, move around, be able to see things a little bit bigger than on a mobile. So let's touch on some things to avoid when you guys are creating graphics. First things first is watch how much text that you guys are using, and remember that less can be more. You do want to make sure that you're giving kind of the information about your business so clients have a good idea of who you are, what you do, but you don't want it to be to the point where they're not going to fully read it. Do make sure that the points that you list within your marketing are things that you want people to remember you by. So this could be the same shopper every time, getting in-store pricing and getting that receipt. You can shop at any local store, and they're supporting a local business owner. Those tend to be kind of the top points that people will tend to kind of call out within their business when creating marketing. You can always put these into like a bullet point section as well to make it look a little bit cleaner, and instead of like run-on sentences, it's a whole lot easier to read bullet points that are pretty short and to the point. The next thing would be colors and fonts. So you do want to make sure that any fonts, any colors that you use are easy to read and legible. Remember, people of all ages will be reading this, and not everybody's going to have 20/20 eyesight. So make sure what you are doing is something that they're able to actually read and tell what's going on. You don't want super bright colors on top of bright colors. Things like that can make it really difficult. And also kind of limiting the background that you have. So not that you can't have, whether it's a colorful or something in the background, but just make sure that text that is over it is legible. And there are ways that you can do this in Canva, and we can kind of go through that as well when we kind of go through all of the different graphics and what Canva entails.
Yeah, I think another thing to think about on that, I can't remember who does it. We'll have to link it in the description here, but there was a study referenced where it talks about people shrinking attention spans. Canva actually referenced this at their recent conference, and right now it's 47 seconds. So think about what you want someone to read in that 47 seconds, what information you want them to take away before they scroll on to something else. And if you find that you have a ton of information to share, don't do one graphic, right? A flyer can have a little bit, but then we could talk about something like social media where you could split that into 10 posts and each one is kind of a bullet point. And that way they're not too much information at once. So quite a few options there. And then the other thing to think about, just very briefly, if you are using QR codes, which Canva does have an option to make one right within Canva, a good tip is to put the link underneath the QR code. You can put it very small, but writing out the link as well. So you'd have the QR code that goes to your shop page and then also your individual shopper link under it. The reason for that is because sometimes people cannot figure out how to use the QR codes, or they might have a phone that is a lesser level of a phone. So it still allows apps, but the QR code maker in it might not work very well. So you don't want someone to be excited about your business and then have no way to move forward from there. Most people do like QR codes, so you can definitely use both. But just something to keep in mind as we talk about, you're designing for a wide audience, people of all ages and abilities, and that will help you not lose all of those leads that you work so hard to get.
Exactly. And before we kind of dive into graphics, how they work, what to do, I think something important to kind of point out is to always remember that it's going to take time and practice for you guys to feel comfortable. I know I myself, and Ashley would probably agree, when we both started, we knew nothing about Canva or graphics or any of that stuff. And it was very overwhelming. And it took us a while to actually learn it and to feel comfortable, and to just, even now we're learning new things about Canva all the time because they're constantly coming out with new ways to do things. So just making sure that you're kind of up to date. We will list in the summary for you guys all of the links that we talk about. So from the pricing to the tutorials and everything in between. So you will be able to find those in the summary. And we highly suggest, especially going through those tutorials, the videos, the walkthroughs, Canva has a lot of helpful information, whether on their site, on the app, or even YouTube. They have a channel there as well. So there's a lot of stuff that you can kind of dive in and help to kind of learn and grow with those tutorials.
Yeah, I would second that too. I also follow Canva on LinkedIn because that's where they'll announce new features that are coming out and how people are using them. The other thing I like to do is they send an email where they have design challenges. Sometimes they're silly. It's like beach day or something like that. But you kind of go in with a group of people and you take this design and play with it. It is the most effective way to learn how to use it when you're not stressed about, I need to tell my customers this tomorrow, but just something that you're kind of doing for fun. I now do my son's birthday party invitations on Canva because it helps me to just practice in a low pressure setting when I can just take my time and kind of play with it. So consider doing something like that as well, and just making sure that some more of that is coming into your face, because it can really help motivate you to try to practice.
So here's an example of it's time to relax. Let us do the shopping for you. We're getting into the summertime, beaches, pools, all that stuff. Things that people would rather probably be doing, spending time with their family rather than going to the store. So you can keep it pretty simple, kind of like this. If you wanted to add a little bit more, you can. This could also include, say, a QR code. So if you want to add a QR code, you can come over here to the left-hand side where you see it says elements. You're going to want to click on that. Up at the top here, you're just going to type in QR and hit enter. From here, you'll have all of the different graphics that you can kind of choose from. So you can pick whichever one that you want. So we'll go ahead and go with this one. We're going to move it and we're going to just drop it down because we don't want it to be super crazy big. And then from here, you need to add your personal link. So you'll just go in. And I probably did that too fast, so I will show it again. So you're going to click on the dots here that says more. Once you have the QR code highlighted, you're going to click the link and then you're going to type in your link. This, anytime it's scanned, will automatically go to your web page. Along with that, make sure you also have and keep your contact information, including your phone number and website. As Ashley said before, not everybody knows how to use a QR code, or they just want a website. So make it really easy for them to be able to get in contact with you.
The other thing with the QR code, before you spend any money printing anything, make sure that you've done the correct link. So you want to direct directly to your shopping page, or if you have an outside website or redirect or something that you are using, directly to that. So make sure it's not just to Dumpling or to the marketplace search. You want to send them directly to you because these are people that you're marketing to. So you could say something like, download the app to get started, and then link directly to you that way. So anytime you use that individual link, just for anyone who doesn't know, it will take them to you. They will bypass the marketplace search and anything else and just go straight to you. If they don't already have the website, there will be a button that says to download. It will download the link, or if they don't already have the app, excuse me, it will download the app for them and then connect them to you. If they already have the app, that will repopulate them to you.
Exactly. And while we're kind of on this really quickly, for those of you who are not on Pro at this time, you'll notice that some of these graphics, whether it's a QR code or a graphic in general, but under the elements, it will say, it'll have this little crown and it'll say Pro. So that is a Pro feature, and that you do need to have Pro in order to use it. So keep that in mind. If you see that, it's not going to be the free version of it.
If there is no crown in the corner, that means it is free to use.
And you can open up the left-hand side here to have all of your different kind of tools here. So at the top, you just start with your business name. These images are images that I just found. So I just went into Element and I actually searched. You can see them here in my recently used here. I just searched for, grocery bags or grocery cart or whatever it may be, as you can see from here. Those are all of my recent searches, and that's how I find them. Then you can kind of crop them and put them wherever you'd like. Below here is an example of why somebody should choose your business, and putting that in that bullet point or the bullet points, and keeping it kind of short and sweet, letting people know exactly who you are, what you do, and all of that. And again, there's a QR code with your information as well included in it. And if you would like to, you are always welcome to put a Powered by Dumpling logo. You do not have to. Some people do, some people don't. Those are located within our help site, and we can also include those within the summary as well, in case anybody is interested in that.
It looks like what Sarah did is had either used a pre-existing template or just put text boxes on there.
Yes.
So where it says business name and logo, that would be a different text box than the any store delivered to your door. And that allows you to do different fonts or different sizes. And within that, you'll see Sarah found on the left is the text button. They have sort of word art for those of you who were around back in the day of Microsoft Word having that. On the word art, you can change the colors, the spacing, the backgrounds, and you can also change obviously what it says. So feel free to play with those. If those are too intimidating, that's where you would just decide, I want a heading, which is bigger, a subheading, body text, and you can go from there, and you can edit those to be whatever font, whatever colors. And then you can also do animations, which is where you could put a shadow behind it or something like that.
Exactly. So this one, I believe, is just, I can't remember if this is a Facebook. Oh, it's just a flyer. So this is actually a flyer template. So I just went into the templates, I searched for flyers, and I just started this one from scratch. So this one didn't have anything on it. It was just a plain white template. I just chose the background color by going up here to the background colors. And then I started adding my text by using the text box. Again, as Ashley said, this is being weird right now. There we go. You have a heading. So that's what I used for like the business name logo, subheadings, and then body of text. So this would be like a subheading, and then these would be more of a body of text. For all of these, you can still control all of the size. Like she said, the font, the color, everything. It makes it easier. You'll notice like the heading is going to be a little bit bigger than if I click the subheading, that's an interesting subheading I've never seen it go up and down. So that's weird. And then the QR code, again, that's going to be under the elements, and then you can search QR code. The images, those are also going to be under elements by just searching. So there's graphics, stickers, photos, videos, all sorts of things within the elements that you guys are able to use.
A fun thing that it'll do as well is it will allow you to move those images, turn them, change them, lighten them, whatever you would like to do. And it'll even pull colors from the graphic you're using. So if you put a picture as a background, once you go to select like a text color, it'll offer up to you one of the colors in there as an option, which is really handy that you don't have to necessarily remember every single color code that you've used or try to find it again. It does have the ability to pick from what's already in there and just kind of suggest that to you.
So now we'll move on to just kind of different things that you guys can do within your business. So outside of just grocery delivery. So farmers markets is one. This could also apply to pet sitting, dog walking, really anything. So again, this is something that I just found a template for, and then I just added my own things to it. So I was looking for produce, and let me switch over here. So when you want to actually find a template, let's just do this. So up at the top is the search bar, and you want to make sure it's under the template versus the projects, because this will show up any of your projects that you currently have created, and this will search Canva templates. So let's do farmers market. And it'll pop up all the different ideas that you can use. Remember, again, anything that has the little crown is pro. So that is either going to cost you money, or you do have to have a pro subscription in order to use it. So it'll depend. Sometimes you can just pay for the image to be used. Other times you need to actually have the subscription. So this is the one that I used, and then I just went from there. So this is how it looked beforehand, and then I changed it just a little bit. So I didn't really have to do a whole lot of work. It was just kind of rearranging things, adding in my information and things like that. So it gives people a good idea of what you can do outside of your business. And obviously, if you're doing dog walking, you'll want it to be more, we have an example, I believe, of dog walking too right here. So for like dog walking, you could do something like this. And this is one that I just found the template. You can see right here, National Pet Day, and I just changed it. Again, very simple. It's nothing super crazy. I kept the wording pretty easy to read. And then of course you have, your website, all of that. If you want to, again, add a QR code, you could do that as well by just going in there and adding your link.
You can also upload your own photos. Do make sure if you're doing that it's one that you have the rights to use. If you're going to be kind of putting this in your marketing, you could either kind of search for, free to use clip art, or use something like Google or Canva, who will determine which ones are free for you. But if you have a picture of you with a dog, you could obviously use that instead. And you would just on the left where the uploads is, you kind of go over there, you can upload your image, and then same thing, you can resize it, change transparency, any of those sorts of things. And so don't feel like you have to use a template with their images if you are not loving their images, but it does make it easy to know what you kind of have the rights to use for free without having to do that extra step.
Exactly. All right, so we got a few other ideas that we'll just kind of quickly go through, and then I'm going to pass it over to Ashley to really walk through. So we do have, Mother's Day, Father's Day coming up. So we created a few graphics as well. Again, I just went from a template on this one and then changed it. I deleted a few of the things on there, but kept it pretty simple and kind of to the point. You can always do more. You don't have to keep it as plain, but again, just remember not to go too crazy and make sure that it's legible. And then we got Mother's Day. Again, Mother's Day has, look at, you got results popping up over here. Well, and Easter, past Easter, but something quick, something simple. This again was just a template that said Happy Mother's Day. So from there, I just added a little bit of, some wording and the information of how to contact. You can go into more in depth for both of these for the Mother's or Father's Day of, what are the types of things that you deliver. For Father's Day, maybe it's barbecue needs. For Mother's Day, maybe it's, getting the flowers or her favorite chocolates or whatever it may be. You can let them know, hey, I also can pick up gifts if you don't have that time, or hey, if you placed an order and you're not able to go pick it up, just let me know. I can grab it, with your groceries as well.
A quick tip on that too, like this one, you wouldn't want to put a bunch of text on because it has a busier background, right? But because this is an Instagram post template, you have a caption available to you when you post it as well. So you can keep this very simple and then give a little more detail in the caption. So don't feel like you have to dump all of that in a graphic either.
Exactly. And the same goes for Facebook as well. A lot of that information can be in that actual, the post itself versus the graphic. When you're thinking of graphics, you want to think of things, what's going to draw people's attention in. And again, less is sometimes more. So give the information, but just have that graphic, have just the little bits and pieces that will help draw them in, and then they can read the rest on your post. All right, and we're getting down here. So we have Cinco de Mayo coming up. So again, this was just a template that I used. All I did was add in the information. So just another idea. Again, all of these graphics will be in the summary for you guys to be able to use as a template, as is, by just adding in all of your information or using it as a guide to kind of create your own.
So this is one of their new features where you can essentially put a screenshot in a phone or something like that to kind of show them really what they're looking at. And then you can actually put that on top of another graphic or by itself if you want to write around it. Maybe you want to say something like, hey, here's how to leave me a review, or here's how to enter in that store that's not listed, or here's what it'll look like when you connect with me on the app. Anything like that, you can kind of think about using this new tool for. And we'll dive into that tool a little bit more in the future, but it does look very professional. Just seeing kind of the phone with the image on it next to your information. So very cool new feature that they've added.
So I created this for a Facebook cover photo. Like we said earlier, with Canva, you can actually have templates for all the different kind of social medias that are out there. So let me just really quickly, I'll kind of show you guys how did I find that? So down here, you'll see all the different kind of recommendations, presentations, and then social media. So this will show you all the different kind of options that you have for social media content. From YouTube banners, Twitter posts, Pinterest pins, Facebook event covers, and everything else. So you can kind of start by just looking at these. So that's exactly what I did with this Facebook one, is I just went to Facebook covers and then kind of went from there. So within this, again, kept it really simple because it's going to be, you know, a cover photo. So you don't want too much information, but enough to where people can actually contact you, know where to get ahead of you or get a hold of you. And I liked the phone. And then Ashley was telling me about this. So basically you just pick a photo. So I had already had mine uploaded, and you'll click it to add it, and it'll just pop open. You're then just going to click and drag, and you notice how it just kind of goes right to the phone. I didn't have to do anything with it. I freaking love this. So easy that anybody can do this. And I think it's really cool to have, you know, like Ashley said, it's a version of like your app, without you having to actually like create it yourself. I just took a screenshot on my phone, uploaded it, and now I'm done. So pretty easy.
And just remember, if you're going to do that, obviously you'll want to take a screenshot from the customer app. So you'll go into the Green Dumpling app and look at it that way as your customers would. And then you can showcase what they're expected to see. Cool. I was just looking into all of Canva's new features, and that one is by far one of my favorites. Just incredible work that they have done to make this so easy to use. And we'll show you guys the other way to do it as well. There's a couple different ways to get to this feature, but super cool. I think it'll be fun to kind of see. Obviously, all of us are using an app for our business, and so this one is very relevant to us. Perfect. And so this one is essentially for your Instagram stories. They don't have to just be one post. You can actually post them like a story, right? So I picked Costco. That's a store near me. So I just kind of changed the colors to match Costco a little bit. And then you have, you know, page 1, page 2, you can download them together. You can download them separately. And I've kind of made some notes for you guys on the template here, but essentially leave room where you can, while you're in Instagram, you can then put the photo that you just took in the store. If you want to, you know, leave the price empty and write that in on Instagram, you can do that as well. But this at least already gives you the handy background to the right size. This background was a lot darker. So what I did is I actually just put it in as more transparent. I don't know if you're able to edit that from there, Sarah, but you can kind of show them. So on the edit photo, and then over to the right, you see this little gradient checkerboard thing. That is how you do that. So once you click this gradient checkerboard, right above the image, next to position.
This one.
Yep. And whatever you're clicked on, it will do. So you can make the background lighter, you can make the text lighter. The reason I did that is because I want them to see the grocery store and that there's a cart in the grocery store, but not be overwhelmed with branding or all the colors in the grocery store. I didn't want to distract from it. So that's an easy tool you can use if you're saying, well, I really love this, but this is really dramatic. You can just lighten it, whatever it is that you want to lighten. And so to do a background like this, I found the image, I put it on, and then it'll give you an option to set as background. Did that and then lightened it. So a couple steps in there, but all in all, maybe took me 2 minutes to get the background situated. And then with the word art, I went and changed the colors. Again, I did some blue and some red to kind of allude to the Costco colors, but you can do whatever colors you want to. If you're shopping at a store that has a lot of green, right, you could consider changing this to green. And this is something that you could just have saved all the time. So once or twice a month, when you go through that store and kind of check out what's new there, you can just take your pictures. And then when you get home, it's pretty easy to just upload them that way. So I did leave some room on here again, because Instagram does allow you to do some writing, adding images, things like that, but it's not always as fluent as using something like Canva is. So using the two tools together is something that I find works really well. And then you could even on the second page, you could duplicate that page 10 times if you wanted to, and have several new items.
So you want to do this one.
Yep.
So adding a page, we'll just add a blank page. So if you want to keep everything under one, or you click this little plus and that will duplicate the one that you clicked. So I could duplicate this one And then there you go. So every single time, instead of deleting and then, you can keep everything that you already have and just keep duplicating, and you can have as many pages as you want. I do believe, at least I haven't hit a max yet. So.
Yeah. So yeah, the fun way to do it would be, or if you're also using the app, you could then say, new cracker, blah, 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 write whatever the cracker is, and then the price, and then save it. And then when you upload it, all you have to do is the picture. So you can also edit fonts on here, whatever you would like to do there. But I really wanted to give you an idea of a great way to do a background that is not overwhelming, but really conveys something related to our business. And this one is similar. The background on this one was actually much darker and much brighter. And so same thing as Sarah, I just used a simple template for this, but I really lowered the transparency, and that helped the words stand out quite a bit. It automatically did all the text colors for me. It picked them from the watermelon, which was really easy. And then I just edited it to be a little more relevant to my business. So they were talking about summer barbecues or something on this template, but I knew that watermelon was very seasonal. I could use that, from May to August. And so just kind of included that there. You could do this with any sort of fruit. And when you search on the templates, this one, you can search watermelon or summer and find it, right? But let's say you want to do lemons, or let's say it's fall, maybe you want to do some pumpkins and squash. They'll give you options that are real pictures or these sort of cute cartoon ones that someone else created. Either one works great, but yeah, a lot of options there where you get that pop of color without it being too much, but it is still very relevant to your business.
And she was talking about the colors earlier. So when you guys have something like this, or even this one, when you go up to the color of the text, it'll group all of the photo colors together. So this is everything that's currently being used, which is really helpful, so that you don't have to actually go up here and try to find a color that works well. So that's what she was talking about when she said that it kind of just found the colors from the watermelon. Is you just pick one of these colors and you're pretty much good to go, and know that it's gonna at least kind of go hand in hand. Same for this one. So if you go up in here, it'll pick all the different photo colors that you currently have in here.
What I really want to show you guys is essentially some of their sort of new features that they have available. Some of these, there's a ton of new features. We're just going to talk about the ones that are relevant here. These features are actually free and they're free to play with, and they have really cool tutorials. They might end up being pro features later on. One that I really like is this drawing one. So when you click try it out, it actually gives you sort of an activity to do to practice it, which is really cool. You can use the pens, the highlighters. This isn't something that you would need to use all the time unless you're really great at digital art. But let's say you want to highlight something. Maybe you were featured in a news article and you want to highlight the part that mentions you. You can absolutely do that. So really cool kind of hidden feature there that is very user-friendly. They got a lot of feedback about people being overwhelmed with Canva and have clearly taken that into consideration. So I love that one. Another one that I really, really like is this magic design. And then let me see, they're all kind of right on the front for you for now. But this is the one I really want to show you guys. So if you're having trouble finding an image, this is called text to image. What you'll do, we'll just try it out with something very basic here. And this is an AI feature that they've just released. So I'm going to say grocery bag and create my image. It's going to take a minute to think and kind of search. And then once it populates, it'll give you a couple different options. And you can see they're all very bright and vibrant. without any branding, which is so cool. I did have a funny one come up where there was like 3 legs. So do make sure that you're double checking what you're using. But something like this is really great. It really gets across what you're trying to use. If you don't like it, you can create again, start over. You can even then say, okay, I want to do a grocery cart and add that to the same image, which is really fun. So real quick, I'll show you guys how to set something to background. Just right click it. And then it has these options here. Again, this might be something that you would want to make more transparent or change colors on, anything like that. But this is really cool. I know a lot of times when I'm trying to make a graphic, I have a hard time finding what is in my mind for that graphic. And so this really cuts down on that time where it'll just kind of find it for you. If you're not getting the image you want, you can just kind of change how you're typing it. And it's got quite a big text. So I even played with one last night where I said astronaut cat in pastel colors, and it was able to do that. So if you need to be more specific, just be more specific. But really cool new feature there. And as I mentioned, right on the homepage, there's tutorials for all of these. This is another one that's really cool. This is their brand hub where they have all the colors. This is a pro feature, but previously you weren't really able to explore what was within that feature. And so I love this, that I can go and see, these are all the things that I could set as my branding to use every time. Okay, maybe then it is worth it for me to have pro for that feature, or maybe not. Whereas before, you didn't quite get that insight. This magic right everywhere, it's kind of similar to the one that I showed you where it comes up with a picture for you. It will help you come up with text if you're struggling with that. Do, of course, double check what it is saying. And if you guys are ever unsure of a graphic, you can always show a friend, send it in to Sarah and I, whatever it may be, and just get someone else to look at it before you print any flyers with it as well. The other way that you can access these is to go down here on the left into apps, and then you can search or find them in here as well. Again, there's a whole bunch of new ones, aren't necessarily relevant to many of you, so we won't touch on all of those, but these text to image ones, really cool. And then there are some other ones. I'm assuming these ones will end up being more of a pro feature, but I did want to show you guys that there is a photo editor in here now that has a lot of capabilities for you. So imagine you have a bag with a store logo that you don't want to highlight, but you really do want to repost that old picture. It was really good. You could take the logo off the bag. Imagine that you have a really great delivery photo, but it has your customer's address in it, and you don't necessarily want to crop it out. You just want to take it away. That's where this feature would make sense. So within that, this is going to be right here that you can play with. And it will show you right here that, oh, let me go back real quick. The background remover is a pro feature. The magic eraser is a pro feature. However, you can play with it in their beta right now. And then this magic edit is the one that you can test right now. And the fun thing with this is that they've actually given you a tutorial here. So it walks you through, it tells you what to do, and it works a lot better than you would expect. So you just brush the thing you want to remove. And so we'll do, you know, something silly here just so that you guys can get the idea. Click continue, and then I want this person to hold bananas instead. Give it a minute. Again, it's thinking.
A fun one.
And suddenly this person is holding a bunch of bananas.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, that it actually could do it even with the stems of the flower. So a very interesting feature. It's fun to play with. The fun thing about this one is even if this does end up being a pro feature and you stay on free, it gets you a lot of hands-on practice time. So I do suggest playing with it, even if it's something you're not going to use, because it makes it really easy to find kind of the flow of where to click buttons on Canva. And then as you can see here, it actually gives you prompts. So last night I was playing with it and I changed this cake to a bowl of macaroni and cheese, whatever it may be, but it kind of gives you some different use cases for how you could do this, how you could take some of the people out of the water here, things like that. So definitely check out their new feature section, even if you're not going to use them, because they have put great tutorials in there.
So for those that are just kind of wondering how to get back to templates, all of that stuff. So from your homepage, you're going to see all of your projects. Under your projects page, there's folders, designs, and images. So each one you can actually put into a specific folder to keep them kind of grouped together to find at a later date. The templates is where you're going to search for everything that is not already created by you. And then the brand hub this is going to be your brand hub. So technically you wouldn't have anything there, but that's where you're going to set all of your colors, your fonts, everything for your specific brand. And that way it'll be remembered within all of your projects and any template that you create. And then as Ashley showed earlier, the app section is going to be at the bottom here with pretty much everything she just showed you and so much more. Like she said, all of these, they're going to be featured right on the homepage. This includes, I believe, even, don't they have their actual tutorials here or no?
No, so this is actually a good example. So on Sarah's, she's on a browser, whereas I was in the desktop app. So on the browser on the top, there's kind of these drop downs.
Yep.
This is where you can find their design school, which is their little tutorial videos, their help center, step-by-step guides. You are welcome to watch any of those. I do recommend them, but we will include some more specific links in ours because a lot of them are not going to be relevant to what you're going to use for your business. The other thing that you'll find on the browser that's not on here too is their sort of featured designs. So if you want to get inspiration from what other people are doing, that's where you can find those as well. So under apps, this is called Smart Mockups. And you can check whether you want a smartphone, desktop, laptop, tablet, whatever it may be here, right? Obviously, smartphone is most relevant to us. A lot of these do have this pro symbol, but there's actually a good amount of free ones. So here's one that I used yesterday. You also have the white background. And then from here, what you do is you click on it, get started. And then I'm just going to do this image since I had done this one yesterday and already uploaded it. Oh, here we'll just click this one, select, and then oh, well, this is a screenshot of the actual image I did yesterday, so you can see here. But essentially what you can do is then you can adjust it however you would like to, and then from here, save your mockup. And then this allows you to then make this an actual graphic where you can write on it or put elements on it or whatever you would like. So really neat feature that they've added. As Sarah showed you, you can also drag images in and out of that. Super easy to use, but you can see where people have even designed their mugs with their logo or a shirt with their logo or anything like that to kind of showcase that. Very cool. And then if you are doing other services, you might want to check out this product photo one. Maybe you're also selling something. I know some of you do that as well as do your business, or you have like add-on services, something like that. That's where this would work. But for most of you, you wouldn't need to look at that one. Yeah, just really cool new features that they've just added in the last probably month. So take time to play with those and get to know those, even if you are proficient in Canva. The other thing you can do when you're on home, if you scroll down, you can see your like recent designs. You can click that way. Another quick thing to show you guys is if I go to projects, this is where I'll have the folders of all my projects. I also have this starred folder. And so on here, I just save all sorts of images that are like the kind of art style I like. which makes it easier when I'm designing next time, because I can just go here and use it in a design. So what I do to do that, I'll just kind of show you guys real quick. I go into, let's just pick a random project and edit it so I can show you guys here. So let's do elements. And then let's say I want to use this, but I want to scroll down here and look at other things. So if I click see all on graphics, I'm going to use this one. It'll give me magic recommendations. And then from within these, you can right click on them and star, and that's how it will put that in that folder for you. So if there is a certain kind of art style that you like, or you're coming across, let's say you're talking about, hey, I'm going out of town, but while you're doing that, you're coming across, that would be good for summer marketing, save it. And then you don't have to find it again later. Kind of a neat little hidden feature that they have. The other thing you can see on mine is it kind of gets to know you a little bit. I do a lot of sort of Instagram designs and I really like pastel colors in my business. And so it will automatically suggest more of that to me as I use it more. So again, play with it, find things that you like in there, and it will just become easier for you.